I am Marco Canora. I am the chef and founder of Brodo Broth Company and also the chef and founder of this place, which is Hearth Restaurant in the East Village of Manhattan. Brodo is a broth company. It started selling hot cups of broth out of the back door of this restaurant back in 2014. I was kind of on my own little health journey after cooking in the city for 20 years, hitting my early 40s, being a new father. You know, I wasn't exactly the cover boy of health. One of the things I did early on was I swapped out my coffee habit, which was an extraordinary amount of coffee in this business. I was drinking many quarts a day. And I started drinking the restaurant broth, which is what I'm drinking now, still to this day. Swapping out the coffee habit for a broth habit, it really started to have a lot of wonderful effects on my well-being. So much so that after 6 or so months, I decided to try to sell it out of the back door of the restaurant as a product. And that was basically the founding of Brodo. Brodo has grown pretty dramatically over the last 10 years. At first, we were really keen on the shops, and there was this idea of broth shop as the next Starbucks. And we really wanted to lean into the hot beverage thing. You buzz all these flavors into here, and it starts to feel very coffee shop-like. Our initial phase of growth was really in retail here in Manhattan, and we grew to 5 shops. We had Upper East, Upper West, West Village, East Village, and then COVID really smacked us. So slowly but surely we started getting out of the shops, and we just now have the one window, the original window in the East Village. The first half of the decade, it was shops, 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 and then figure out manufacturing, and we finally got into this shelf-stable product, and that's really what accelerated our Brodo.com business. And now, that is very much the core of our business. To be honest, having one window serves us almost as well as having 5 shops, right? In terms of being in front of a customer, learning, their likes and dislikes. Having that face-to-face interaction, I think, is incredibly valuable for a .com business. Ultimately for me, and our investors might feel different, but the driving force of this restaurant and the founding of Brodo and Brodo from now until who knows when, it's getting a truly nourishing food into people's homes. This country, we are obsessed with convenience, and we are obsessed with cheap. And cheap and convenient, when you apply it to food, is not great for your health. And I really want to drive health outcomes, and this country needs it more than almost any country on the planet. It feels really good to be able to spread this product the way that we're able to spread it. It's what kind of gets us all excited at Brodo. And obviously having Brodo.com and being able to ship broth nationally, the market just got way, way bigger. I could reach more people than I've ever reached in this restaurant. And the model that we've built with the help of Andrew Garner, it's been incredible.
My name's Andrew Garner, and I run the day-to-day operations for Brodo. I met Marco in 2017 and been working with him since then. Brodo started using WooCommerce in 2016 when we quite quietly launched our delivery service out of one of our shops in the West Village. The decision to start selling online really started with a bunch of emails that we were getting from people who I think had just moved away from New York, and a lot of, there's a real corridor, I suppose, from New York to LA. So suddenly we were getting all these requests for orders, but we really didn't have anything set up. So our initial e-commerce business was fulfilling orders out of the basement of our West Village shop, which was 300 square feet. So people were asking for it. We were happy. We were so flattered, I think, that people wanted the product that we figured out a way to do it. It certainly was not a good business at the time. It's fun when it's nice to feel wanted, and we have some real diehard consumers. That's really how it started. It's really just in response to demand. So today we're processing about 10,000 orders per month, and I guess relative to last year, that's probably about 5 times what we were doing. WooCommerce has given us a pretty seamless ability to scale up from really a standing start that when we launched the new product line last year. WooCommerce has been a terrific choice for us. There's a few things that have been great. One is it's tremendously flexible, so we can pretty much do whatever we want with it, and it's really just limited by our imagination. It obviously integrates very well with WordPress and what we've been doing with our blog. So one of the things that we talk about a lot is how do we take that shop experience and and try to have that same level of engagement with our customers. And obviously our blogs and some of our publications, we have one called How to Brodo, which is really about how do you help people not only use the product, but how do you help them incorporate it into their daily lives, whether it's as a drink or as part of an ingredient. Having the ability to go back and forth between WooCommerce and WordPress from both a transaction perspective as well as a content perspective is pretty powerful. WooCommerce is really at the heart of everything that we're doing on the Brodo.com side, of course. Using WooCommerce as well as Automate Woo, that flows directly into our fulfillment centers. So we're able to obviously process those transactions, but also do a lot of customization at the customer level, both for the communications that we have for them, as well as the fulfillment and what actually goes into the box. That integration with fulfillment is really critical. Some of the other integrations that we have would be Meta for our paid ads, so feeding that data back into Meta so we're able to get as nuanced an understanding of the customer base as we can. I'd say about a third to a half of our business is subscriptions. I think having subscription as a very siloed part of your business is a real mistake. And I think WooCommerce allows us to pretty fluidly go back and forth between sort of ad hoc WooCommerce, if you will, and then Woo subscriptions and vice versa. As we think about our growth, there's certainly no limitation from WooCommerce perspective. I mean, WooCommerce deals with and supports customers much bigger than us, and clearly it hasn't faltered as we've grown, on a relative basis very quickly. We've got big growth aspirations, and I'm fully confident that WooCommerce is well positioned to support us.
The greatest part, I think, and this is like tip for any business online, any business anywhere, it's like, if you make something that customers love, then you're golden, And like that's all you really need to do. Figure out a product, produce it, and make sure that your customers love it, and then you can kind of scale it to the moon. And we've seen great growth, and it's just like, who knows what the limit is.